Hello there graduates! Welcome to Meeple University! Today's lecture is for Call to Adventure board game. Games about rune rolling, card collecting, the most fun part, storytelling at the end. We're going to take you through our brief overview first, then we'll give you our initial thoughts on the game coming up. I'm Stella, and here at Meeple University, we do a variety of quality board game videos, such as how to play, overview, review, playthrough, vlog, and part of the Dice Towers board game breakfast. So if you're new here, consider please subscribing to our channel and hit the bell button so you get notification of our new videos. Now let's get to the overview.
Call to Adventure is an icon-driven tableau building game in which players attempt to develop the backstory of characters in a fantasy world. On each turn, players will choose one card from the common supply and then attempt to add it to his or her story tableau. Most of these cards will be challenges, and these force the player to throw rune tiles in order to attempt to defeat the challenge. The player always throws the 3 core rune tiles, may add coloured runes which match his or her challenge as long as he or she already has those icons in his or her tableau, and may add dark runes at the cost of an experience gem and at the risk of moving down on the corruption track. Successfully defeating a challenge and adding it to the player's tableau gives that player access to more icons and possibly to victory points. Through the game, players will gain advantages and points from gaining and playing hero and anti-hero cards, and can produce combos with the bonus effects on his or her starting cards. The game end is triggered after one player has added 9 story cards to his or her tableau, for a total of 12 including the starting cards. Then players add up their points for a wide range of features of their tableau. This includes points printed on cards, points for sets of matching story icons, points for the corruption track, for playing hero or anti-hero cards, for leftover experience gems, and for meeting the endgame objective goal printed on your destiny card. White and black points represent triumph and tragedy respectively, but both of them add depth to your character and are worth positive victory points in equal measure. The player with the highest score wins. The game is also designed to incorporate storytelling after the competitive element of the game is complete, with each player's tableau describing the full backstory and journey of his or her character, and therefore providing the framework for the story.
Well, we hope that that brief overview gives you some overall ideas on how the game plays. Now, on to our review. I quite like the theme of the game Call to Adventure here. You start from 0 to hero. Start from your origin card that tells you what you are at the beginning, then you choose your path when selecting the next cards, whether good or evil. I like to play the game in storytelling way, and I think this game is meant to be played this way too. It feels less mechanics. It's a bit like Seven Wonder, but Seven Wonder is more mechanical. So where you're just selecting the sets of cards and the next set of cards based on the ones that you have collected. This game theme suits the game. The icons that you're trying to collect as sets for end of game scoring also relates to the theme and story. In regards to components and artwork, the game has a unique rune rolling system rather than dice rolling. The runes look really good. When you shake it in your hands, it sounds really cool as well. That's probably my favorite components of the game, the runes. Well, the artwork is good too. They are white and black runes. They serve different functions. The artwork's nice, comes with box insert and trays for the runes. Iconographic is pretty simple and quite straightforward. The player board has also space for the cards and the reference for the runes. The mechanic of the game, it's basically an icon matching game with rune rolling, engine building, set collection and storytelling. I mentioned the rule rolling system earlier. This feels different than dice roll. Only thing that I kind of struggle is to try to get the correct runes for the rolls at the start, as in the meaning, what the runes result means, based on the cards that I use. but that is easily overcome by the rule reference in each player board. Game is quite based on luck with the rune rolling, but it is meant to be played this way. It's lighter and quick game, but it's also not very hard to get the result that you want in the game. There are some engine building element, of course, on the card that you collect that part gives you some satisfactions during gameplay. There is slight asymmetric power with different cards that the player is starting with, also with the different end of game objectives. You are trying to collect useful symbols in your adventure cards and collecting heroes or anti-heroes cards too. You've got to strike the right balance with being good and evil to maximize the benefit that you can use. This part feels a little bit like the game by Ryan Lockhart called Near and Far, where you can be good and have good popularity, or you can be bad. Both comes with each own benefit in the game, depending what you want to do. Game itself not very challenging. It's not really hard usually to get the cards that you want, unless if they are taken by your opponent first, I guess. Or although there are also some take that mechanics that is actually quite surprising when played on me as well. This came from the anti-hero cards, so you can stop opponents from successfully getting the cards that they want. Again, I think this is more to the fact that it may need to be played as storytelling more than just mechanics. Playing with 3 to 4 players generally better for us anyway, rather than 2 players. More opportunity that you get the cards that you want on the main boards, and you can make it more social as well with the storytelling part of the game, which I like. Games also comes with solo mode, 2-player co-op, 3-player co-op, and 4-player co-op. That gives a bit of a flexibility on the gameplay. The game has short to medium game length, suits the rune rolling mechanics, the luck-based mechanics. Not a lot of downtime as well as between turn. It usually goes pretty quick. There are some occasions where the cards that you want is taken by the player just before you. Then you gotta think what cards you want to take. But generally, it doesn't really take a lot of time to plot your moves. There are many starting cards that you can choose from, and different objective cards make the games quite replayable. You can start your heroes different in every game. You can play in different ways. You could craft your heroes with different adventure cards, giving different paths to the heroes. So if you enjoy storytelling elements of it, I think the game is very replayable based on the different stories that you can put together at the end of the game. You could focus on the destiny card or secret objective card that you pick at the start of the game, the one that's hidden from everyone, for extra end game points, or you could ignore it and try to change your destiny, but it's up to you. The designers, both Johnny O'Neill and Christopher O'Neill, have designed a game called Boss Monster. It has a few expansions as well, which I believe a different type of game. I haven't actually been lucky enough to play Boss Monster, however, but from what I can see, Boss Monster is a lighter game than this, has got some hand management and take that mechanics in it. Other games that is similar with Call to Adventure, in a way it reminds me of Seven Wonders, as I mentioned earlier, where you're collecting cards using icons, so icon matching. Similar lengths of game time. It's not too hard to do what you want to do. You almost get a way to achieve what you're wanting to achieve in a given turn. And there's a slight engine building element as well in Seven Wonders, where you're collecting resources or get low level of resources cards or different cards so you can get the next level card for free. We were lucky enough to have a chance to get to play Guildmaster, which is another game, another board game. Game was on Kickstarter and yet to be fulfilled. Basically, you collect adventurer cards in the game, each cards with different symbols. The more you collect, the better, as the symbols mean that you have a better chance of obtaining mission cards, the next one on. Well, the game has more to it, but some of the elements of Guildmaster feel similar to Call to Adventure. You would probably want to play Call to Adventure with maybe your D&D group, maybe good to play with, or more casual gamers. Game is quite light-based, so probably wouldn't want to take the game too seriously. It is a good filler game as well between heavier strategy gamers when playing heavy games. It is also good to play with families. I can imagine children would love the storytelling element and the luck-based element and rolling those rules. That's our assessment of Call to Adventure board game. We hope that you find this lecture useful. If you like the rule video for Call to Adventure, we've got how to play video, and you can check that out by looking at the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please let us know by clicking the like button or write your questions and feedback in the comment sections below. You can also join our Facebook group, Meeple University Community, to share your love of board games. And if you want to be one of the first ones to be notified of our new videos, please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already done so. And hit the bell button so you won't miss anything from us. Board game Call to Adventure, Password Honored.